What's up everybody, it's Jang here with a look at the Mega Bloks Destiny Fallen Walker set. I've been looking forward to this one for quite some time, so let me first focus on the walker itself. My first impressions of the completed thing here are definitely very positive. They got the proportions down pretty well. The assembly is good. Nothing feels like it's going to fall apart. Nothing feels too awkward to me. There are very few things on this entire build that I don't specifically like. It's very sturdy. It is holding itself up from the 6 legs. Has enough friction in the ratcheted joints to actually hold the thing completely off the ground. So that's good. And articulation, I think, is important for something like this. So main turret is able to rotate around. You've got the elevation of the barrel. It only goes down about that far. It would be nice to go just a little bit farther than that, just from scale, but I think it's pretty respectable. Got the launcher off on the side over here. Got the little pedipalps from a spider anatomy that are here in the front, the little feelers. It's got the point defense cannon, which can be turned side to side, also elevated up and down, and the whole thing spins, so that's nice. And you can just see all the joints in the legs. There are plenty of them. This is really the most comfortable stance for it, but the most useful articulation here is to rotate these forward and back. And there is a lot of friction in there, but to get that kind of a shimmying forward and back kind of motion is kind of what you want to see. You can also rotate these this way, which is even not a necessary thing, but it's just kind of a feature of the joint pieces that they already have in their inventory. Also, of course, you want to be able to pose this thing up with some of the leg armor blown off, and that's pretty easy to do. I don't know if that's really designed to be done this way, but I think it actually looks pretty appropriate just like that. I really don't think that was fully intentional, but if you just take off a whole big assembly, it looks pretty good there. It also has the ability to put it into a damage control mode. So if you shoot this thing up quite a bit, you can slide this forward and open up the core there. And there's something even nicer about that is completely hidden here. This tile piece, just under my finger, let me move the barrel out of the way. This tile piece can be pushed down, and that activates a light brick. So that's actually glowing now, and it's not just glowing at one level of brightness. It's got yellow and red LEDs in there, and it kind of alternates out, and then that comes down. If you push the button with this closed up and you look from the front, so down inside of there, you can see some light coming through. Obviously there's a lot of light in my studio here, so it's not going to show the light to be fully as bright as it really is, but it's just another thing that kind of helps to bring this thing to life. The only thing that I don't like here is that this forward carapace doesn't really stay in place. It's kind of loose, so it's very easy to get it to slide forward, and you see it's got a little bit of wiggle room. That's just by virtue of how it's attached. You make a couple of rails inside of there for it to slide forward and back on. It's not a big deal, but it's just something that's not perfect. This is a printed piece. I mean, it's a Mega Bloks Collector's Series set, so no stickers anymore. And you can open this up, and that's the spot. There you can actually see the rails inside that this thing slides on. It's a little assembly, but there are no mines included with this, so that's another thing that's not quite perfect. I wish they had included some mines to actually come out the sides there. Now, another place where on the real spider tank you would see stuff coming out would be from the sides of kind of the abdomen here. So I'll move a couple of these legs out of the way for you. This is able to open up here on the side, and that does have some space on the inside. You can open it up on both sides, so you can get a little bit of light to come through there. It does have enough room, actually, to hold a shank. Just one shank, though. Only one will fit in there. There may be a way to use these clip pieces to hold it in there more securely, but I don't think it really matters that much. But this is the last thing that I don't like about the set, or that is not quite ideal, is the scale, right? So a shank shouldn't look that large next to a Fallen Walker. The whole thing is just scaled down, and certainly they did that to manage the price. If you had this in the full proper scale, probably would have cost, I would estimate, about 50% more, if not even more than that. The shank itself, I think, is pretty perfect. It's the same build as the others that they've done. They've just done it in a crimson color here for the Devils. Really nice specialized piece used up for the front, which actually has transparent orange as the base color, so it lets a little bit of light come in through there, and the eyes actually look jeweled and will kind of change in their appearance depending upon how light hits it. And it does come with the stand and the base, so you can just set it up like that to, just display it around some terrain or other places where it's going to be actually flying. This House of Devils Fallen Captain is a micro action figure designed for play with the visual quality of a static model, in my opinion. The heavy wash that they apply to the captains is fantastic. It just completely changes the quality of what you see. If they had not put that wash on there, which gives it all the darkness that shows up in the crevices and the cracks and the creases and such, it would have looked more toyish and would have looked more like just a normal plastic action figure. Here, this just looks like something you could display by itself. It's got a nice cape, which also has some printing on it. It's got the House of Devils emblem on the back, which is appropriate, and it's got the paint application up on the top. This is a medium soft piece, so it's got some flexibility to it that you kind of see underneath pretty easily. This is based around a standard torso that Mega Bloks uses for their collector series stuff, and they just added the big basically this kind of secondary torso up top, and it's got 4 fully articulated arms, and he's got the shrapnel launcher there, very annoying rapid fire shotgun, which is a beautiful mold. Actually has really good detail on it, and I think the paint application there works out quite well as well. This is really good stuff. Here's the Guardian that's included with this set. Or wait a minute, I didn't do that right. Oh, there he is. It's a hunter, and he comes with the stand, so you can make it look like he's doing his big jump through the air. Let's take a closer look at this figure. I guess first I need to make a big stink about the baller horn here, the Gjallar horn of awesomeness, which is a great weapon to bring in. If you're going to do a bit of a tribute to the game and its history, this is definitely something that needs to be included in the series. So I know a lot of fans are very happy to see this one. It's a pretty good representation. A lot of the details are kind of small, and the paint applications are done in an automated way on this. They are masked, so some of the edges aren't that great. The mold is good. It's not as crisp as some of their other weapons that they've done. I think partly that's because the material is a little bit on the soft side here compared to the harder ones that they normally do, because it's a larger single piece weapon. So I think for durability they made it a little bit softer, and that affects a lot of things if you look at it really close. From any kind of distance though, it's definitely something to be proud of. This hunter has the crest of Alpha Lupi, which does have a wash applied to it, as does the right shoulder armor piece there. That's all good. The shell there, the ghost shell, I believe is supposed to represent the original Vanguard shell, the one that was in the game but that wasn't available before they actually introduced the ability to change out your shells for different stats and such. Back here on the back is the strength of the pack, I believe. Now, this doesn't make so much sense to me with the hood, the class item here, because this is a Taken King specific item. But the Gjallar horn, you could use in Taken King, you could use it in the Crucible, I guess, but it's not really a year 2, viable thing for the most part. So they've kind of mixed things together here, which is pretty standard really for Mega Bloks. Sometimes it's annoying that they do that, but it's just kind of part of their procedures of not trying to make anything be too specific to any one part of one game or one part of a timeline. So you kind of spread things out. He's got his golden gun there, which is literally a golden gun. And then there's also attached on the other side. I just swapped them around since the first part there. Got the blade there. So, stuff is looking pretty good here. Just a little bit on the bright side, but I think that's fully intentional. With the brightness of the gold really shines. I feel like there could have been just a little bit of liner around that visor. The silver is good, but a little bit of black inside of that silver would have made it stand out even more. Just would have had to be something very, very thin. So I've intentionally kind of highlighted the things that I don't like in this set, but they're small. They're really nitpicky little things. On the whole, this is a great set, I think. I do wish that the walker was bigger, but I understand the desire to not make every set be, you know, a signature series set. And I like the captain very, very much. The shank is fine. The figure comes with a lot of accessories and cool stuff, definitely very collectible. And the walker itself just looks great on display. I think the addition of the ability to open up the front and have the lights actually flickering inside of there is just great icing on the cake. And it's a nice integration of an electronic unit into a brick built set without kind of taking over, without using up a whole lot of space for that. It's inside of there is just a 2x4 standard sized brick for the lights. It's easy to change the batteries on it. It's done right. So again, on the whole, I'm very happy with this set, and I will definitely be keeping it together on display. I will not be taking this apart for parts because I want to just look at it. Let me know what you think about this set. Share your thoughts in comments down below, what you think about the walker itself, about the figures, and about the scaling. I look forward to your feedback, and I thank you for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.